People pop in. Good evening and welcome to the Collegewise virtual college fair. Tonight's session will be held in a 6x6 format, which means that our 6 colleges will have 6 minutes each to present. During this time, you can certainly ask questions of our panelists at any point. Please use the Q&A feature found on your screen to ask those questions, and our panelists will respond to you directly. As this is a webinar format, your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see you, nor can they hear you. There are additional sessions being held tomorrow, so if there are other schools that you wish to learn about, please do sign up for those sessions. Or if there's a school you may have missed, know that all of our presentations, all of our sessions are being recorded, including this one, so that you can go back and review and learn about those colleges that most interest you. So let's get this kicked off tonight with Deakin University.
Hi, thanks everyone. I'll just get my screen shared here quickly. There we go. Okay, so thanks for that. My name is Tori. I work for Deakin University, which is based just outside of Melbourne, Australia. I'm currently based in North Carolina, so on a much more manageable time zone to get in touch should you have any questions. I lived and worked in Australia for 5 years and have recently moved back here, but continue to work for Deakin University. So first thing I really like to explain about Deakin.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but we can't see your screen. So you might want to just
Thank you for letting me know. Huh. Is that better?
Sure is. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so first thing I like to let students or prospective students know about Deakin is where are we? So, and who are we and what are we? So Deakin University is quite a large university. We have around 64,000 students, and that's across multiple campuses. So on my next slide, I'll show you a visual of each of those different campuses. But of those 64,000, we've got around 16,000 international students, so quite a nice mix of students on campus. We are quite a young university, so established in the 70s and often considered a pioneer of distance education in Australia. So what does that mean for today? Essentially, that means that we've developed that connected teaching where we can really work with students across multiple platforms. So it's not just that face-to-face that we excel at, it's also the online environment. That's complemented by a number of bespoke digital solutions that we've developed for the Deakin environment that helps really students, academics, staff navigate the campus and the systems with the touch of a button, the click of a screen, or a quick ask of Deakin Genie, which is our own personal smart assistant. So as I mentioned, we have multiple campuses. So we've got 4 physical locations and 1 campus that's in the cloud. Our largest campus is the Melbourne Burwood campus, and that's about 25 minutes outside of the Melbourne CBD. The bubbles here represent the size of each campus. And so the 2 on the right-hand side are in Geelong. One is on the waterfront, and then one is a bit back. And then we have our smallest campus, which is in Warrnambool, further down the Great Ocean Road. So really each campus has a different vibe about it. And I'm happy to talk through those, which would be right for you. So why Deakin University? Deakin really puts the 3 things that universities are all about forefront. So we've got top quality research and ranking. So Deakin ranks across the top 1% of all universities in the world. We have high quality teaching with engaged interactions and the opportunity to really get a hands-on experience across your courses. So a number of our units allow for you to do a work integrated learning opportunity or an internship as part of your course. And then certainly we take pride in the fact that we've won for almost a decade now at the highest level of student satisfaction in our state. So what does that mean? Essentially, that means that students graduating are giving the feedback that their Deakin education has prepared them for their job and their future. Our key study areas are highlighted here, and the ones in orange are where we stand out exceptionally. So Deakin has ranked in the top 5 in the world for exercise and sport science, as well as sport management. We excel in education, food and nutrition, psychology, and life and environmental science. But of course, we are a comprehensive teaching and learning institution, so you'll see the main study areas here represented on the screen. Student services. So we offer comprehensive student services. We have health facilities on each of our campuses and security at all times. Deakin has over 150 clubs and societies. And I was speaking with a student the other day, and he said, well, do you have a specific diving club? And in fact, we do. So really, if there's not a club for you, you're always welcome to start your own, which is one of the other nice advantages of our campus. And again, academic services. So we've got tutors, we've got assistants, we've got library assistants. So really anything students can need to be successful. Our application process is that you would apply direct to the university. And in a typical year, we will be looking at your SAT or your ACT scores. But this year we have decided we will not be taking those scores. Rather, we're just looking at the your GPA. Interviews, essays, extracurriculars are rare. Some of our courses do have quotas, so you would want to check depending on which program you're interested in studying. And then at Deakin, we have 3 intakes. So what does that mean? That means for a number of our courses, certainly the larger ones or our degrees, you can start at 3 points across the year. So if you're not quite ready to come over in July, you need a little bit more time to work, etc. You could certainly most of the time start in trimester 3. So I will leave it there. My name is Tori again. If you have any questions, my details are on the screen and I'm happy to answer anything in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tori. Now we'll hear from Monash University.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Walter, and I am from Monash University. Let me just get my screen shared okay for you. Okay, here are my contact details on the screen in case you do end up needing them. Once again, my name is Emily from Monash University, and we are based here in Melbourne in Victoria. So Monash at a glance, a little bit about what you should know about the university. So we do have a university of about 83,000 students. So the breakdown of that is 54,000 undergraduates and almost 24,000 graduates at this point. We are actually Australia's largest university, and we have 4 main campuses here in Melbourne. We're also a member of what we call the GO8, or a group of 8 universities here in Australia, which is a group of research-intensive universities. We are a truly global university, as we like to say. So we have campuses around the world, including Malaysia, Indonesia, India, China, and Italy. And what that means for our students is that sometimes they do get the opportunity, depending on their program, to actually study at a Monash campus overseas during their studies with us. We have over 115 teaching partners in 30 countries. So if you are a student that wants to go study abroad or do an exchange program or even an internship overseas, we do definitely give students the opportunity to do so here at Monash. We are also in the top 1% of universities in the world. So for 2021, QS has ranked us number 55 overall in the world. Now this slide's probably the slide I'll spend the most time on, given the amount of time I have, but these are basically the key points of why you might choose Monash as your destination for your degree. So as I mentioned before, the rankings in the top 1% or number 55 in the world as a university. We have a really great global presence with those 115 teaching partners in 30 countries and also our campuses overseas. But that also pulls into our reputation as well. So a very good reputation worldwide. We have 3-year accredited courses. So our average bachelor degree is just 3 years long. So you don't have to jump in and do any general classes or courses in your first year. You go right into what you're really interested in. So that means anyone who's studying even a medicine, nursing, or health science degree goes straight into the program that they're planning to study with no need to do pre-med. So a Bachelor of IT, for example, is a 3-year program with us. We do have 10 faculties here at Monash, and we do have also the widest range of program options in the country as well. We also specialize in our double degree programs. So a double degree is actually where you're studying 2 bachelor degrees in an average of just 4 to 5 years. So you can do, for example, a Bachelor of Business and a Bachelor of Arts, and you can complete that in just 4 years with us at Monash. And the reason you can do that with us is because we actually trade out some of your elective classes that you would do in a Bachelor of Business, for example, and we trade those out for the required classes in a Bachelor of Arts. So that's something to really consider if you're looking at trying to set yourself apart from other applicants or other graduates, that you can do a double degree here with us. All of our programs include work integrated learning, which is much like an internship, and that will be organized by Monash. So you don't need to organize that yourself, but some of our work integrated learning experiences do bring you around the world as well. So if you're interested in doing an internship overseas, we can help organize that for you. We have excellent student support services with our group that we call Monash Connect, who take care of both Australian students and international students. So that's anything you need after you get all your documents to apply for your visa. So basically they help you with any visa questions, enrollment questions, as well as any of the other supports that you might need, such as psychological support, counseling, and even some tutoring as well. And we also, of course, have a wonderful student experience. So something that I really like about Monash is we're not based right in the city. So it means that a lot of our students are staying on campus to enjoy the on-campus life. So it's not such a fly in, fly out type campus, but they are staying on campus. They're going to the gym, they're studying with friends, getting involved with some of the peer mentoring programs, or joining one of our clubs and societies. So we too have over 100 clubs and societies to choose from. I do just want to show you the location so you do have an idea of whether or not Monash would be right for you. So as I just mentioned, we are just out of the city. So you can see up here where it says South Bank in Melbourne, that's the CBD or Central Business District of Melbourne City. And our main campus is actually, well, where you can see these geotags, that's where we are. But our 2 main campuses are the Clayton campus and the Caulfield campus, where it says Melbourne East. So I'll first just show you a quick shot of the Clayton campus, which is where most of our students here today would be based. So Clayton is about 25, sometimes up to 30 minutes away from the CBD of Melbourne. And as you can see there, it is more of a suburb of Melbourne. So it's not directly in the city. However, that does mean that our students are staying on campus for a little bit longer, and the cost of rent and living can be just a bit cheaper in Clayton as well. So it's home to 38,000 students and 8,000 staff. And as I mentioned before, most of our programs would be at the Clayton campus that most students would be interested in. And our other major campus that a lot of students would be based would be the Caulfield campus. Now this one's right along the train line. And what's really nice is that there's a free shuttle between the 2 campuses as well. So you can get on the train, go to Caulfield, and then get on the shuttle over to the Clayton campus. So Caulfield is about a 20-minute ride from the CBD of Melbourne. So I hope that gives you kind of a general overview of Monash. I have set my timer and it looks like my 6 minutes are about up. So that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily. And we'll finish our tour of Melbourne with the University of Melbourne.
Hi, good day, everyone. I'm Todd St. Vrain from the University of Melbourne. I'm based in San Francisco. And so we're going to continue our journey in Melbourne. So welcome to UniMelb, or as we say in the local Indigenous language, Womanjaika. So yes, we are a large public research intensive university also in Melbourne. So why would you come to Melbourne, Australia to do your degree with us? Well, I think it's the prestige of going to a university that's regarded, like Monash, as an Ivy League down under. We rank 26 in the world. And when people ask me what's an equivalent university in the US, I would say maybe UC Berkeley. It's one of our partner institutions and very much the campus vibe in terms of the range of what you can study, even the weather that you might have in San Francisco. So we are located in the heart of the city, although we are in a residential area as well. So most Australian universities are quite large, and we have an equal number of undergrads and graduates among our 50,000 plus full-time students, What I love about Melbourne is that it's a multicultural city and very much East meets West. Our American community is probably several hundred students, some coming for a full degree or some just for a semester of study abroad. So there is a community there of Americans, plus all friends from around the world. We have great graduate outcomes, seventh in the world for employability, and all international students in Australia have the ability to stay and work for 2 years after graduation. So you do have options as to where you can start your career after your degree. And you're doing this all in Melbourne, which we should note is been voted 7 times the most livable city in the world. So we also, standard in Australia that our degrees are just 3 years. It is considered the equivalent of a 4-year degree in the US. And at the current exchange rate, the tuition is going to come out to be just about 29,000 US dollars, which makes us competitive with a lot of the universities in the States. So we have streamlined our degrees into just 8 options, and within them there are hundreds galores of majors, and you can explore our study site to get a more in-depth search. So in Australia, you tend to come and study just your degree. We're kind of like more of like an American curriculum that within those 3-year degrees, within those 3 years, 25% of your degree will be called breadth subjects. Anything you want to study outside your degree, it's all about giving you lots of flexibility, and also if you're not sure what to declare as a major, giving you time to decide. So, and also like most Australian universities, your admit is going to be based primarily only on your academic achievement. So it will vary slightly per degree. So it's either going to be the SAT or ACT. We are currently not test optional. This is under review, but because of our different academic year, you would have actually until the end of your senior year to submit a score, which I know sounds a bit strange. We also have an unweighted GPA, and we are one of the few Australian universities that requires AP exams. And all these details will be listed on our degree website. We also take the IB, and this gives you an idea of the scores and the prerequisites for the IB. Any transfer students out there, your admissions is going to be based just on your undergraduate GPA. And this actually has just been revised that it's all 3.0. So, and if you're a really high achieving student in high school in terms of your GPA or your scores, you will automatically be considered for a scholarship. And like most Australian universities, we do take, you can use a US FAFSA student loans and parental loans. So it's different down under. Our semester 1 starts in March and semester 2 starts in late July. You have the option to start either, whether you want to come straight after high school or have a bit of a gap year and start the following year after graduation. My advice is apply when you are applying to US institutions. We offer rolling admissions. Our deadlines probably don't make any sense to you, but you do have until like the end of your senior year to finalize everything. Any Australian citizens or New Zealanders out there, how and when you apply is very specific, and please get in touch so that we can take you through a bit more. We have a program for high school students to come for a week or 2 in July to sample the university, experience life on campus, to be determined whether or not this is going to run this coming year, but it's a great experience for the Americans who have come down previously. So Australia is about the size of the US. We're in the southern part of the country. We're only a 14-hour flight from the West Coast. Again, in the heart of the city, but we have beautiful sandstone buildings, but lots of green open space, lots of modern architecture as well. Just to give you an idea, the labs, student orientation, yes, there's lots of clubs and societies. Fun. Our car park is famous for being featured in things like Mad Max, so you never know who you're going to meet. And just to give you a flavor of Melbourne, a city of art, music, street life, and finally, we're having an event on Wednesday night. So if you want to take a photo of this, come and hear from the real experts, the students who will tell you what it's like to live and study at Melbourne. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next presenter tonight is from Ritsumeikan, Asia Pacific University in Japan.
Thank you very much. So I guess we can all get on the virtual airplane and fly from Australia. Now we're going to go into Japan. My name is Bethany Kanda, and I'm the regional manager at APU. I'm based in Hawaii, but I used to live, actually went to this school and I lived in Japan for just about 10 years before I moved back this year to support US-based students. But just to give you a little background into APU itself, we were founded in the year 2000. So it's just been a little over 20 years now, but we were founded with the ideals that we wanted to always keep the 350s. So we wanted at least 50% of our student body to be international. We wanted them to come from at least 50 countries, and we wanted our international faculty to also be at least 50% represented on campus. And since then, we've always kept those numbers, kind of exceeded them in some areas. But our student body is just about 6,000 students. Half are coming from countries outside of Japan, from about 90 countries and regions around the world. Same with our faculty. And we like to keep it this way just because we want our international students to be fully immersed in the Japanese environment, our Japanese students to also learn about international students, and for international students to learn about other international cultures. So we will always keep it at this 50% every year, and we do have quotas for it. But the great thing about this is that it makes us have a very, very diverse alumni network. So after graduating from APU, if you want to stay and work in Japan, like many of our graduates do, I'm sure there's many an APU graduate at many of the companies throughout Japan. And same goes with where they go out to the other countries around the world. We're located in the city of Beppu, Japan. I'm sure no one has heard of it before. We're a rather small city, about 120,000 people. It's about an hour's flight from Tokyo. And we're a bit on the more suburban side, I would have to say. So just to give you an idea, this is Beppu from on top of the mountain overlooking the city. Not a lot of tall skyscrapers, but we do have shopping centers, local restaurants, couple McDonald's, couple Starbuckses. So you'll kind of find those familiar restaurants around town. We do get all 4 seasons as well, even though we're located so south, and we're located right along the beach, as well as there's mountains on the other side of us. So if you like being in nature, a little bit of a slower style of living, Beppu would be the perfect town for that. We're also very famous for the hot springs that we have located in our city. There's over 2,000 hot springs. So some hot springs on the beach, private hot springs. A lot of people have hot springs in their homes just because there's so much hot water flowing under the town. Our campus itself is located kind of on a hill overlooking the city. All of our first-year students do live in on-campus housing, and this is where the majority of our classrooms are. So it's about a 10-minute walk from door to door. We do have a lot of on-campus sports facilities, as well as a gym, cafeteria, and other miscellaneous amenities. After the first year, students will move into the downtown area. For our programs, we do only offer 2 programs. Our Asia Pacific Studies program, which is a social science degree, or international management, which is a business administration degree. Our program is 4 years, and it follows pretty much the same academic calendar as the US. So if you graduate in the summer, you would enroll in the fall, or you could wait until the following spring to enroll after a gap semester. All of our courses are taught entirely in English. So if you have no Japanese background, that is not an issue. We like to say if you come in with no Japanese, you should leave with at least some Japanese. We require students to take at least 16 credits with us. So if you come in with none, you'll start at our foundation level and work your way up. For students that want to work in Japan, we do recommend they take our more elective higher level Japanese. So for students who are applying, they just have to pick either of these colleges. You don't have to know which major, which are these 8 listed below, that you would like to enroll in. At the time of application, you can kind of take intro courses during your first year to figure out which of the majors you want to specialize in. Outside of the classroom, our campus is very active. We have a bunch of clubs in the form of sports or dance or volunteer. Pretty much anything you may be interested in, I'm sure we have some form of club that could support those interests. We have campus festivals, and we also do something called a multicultural week, which is a week dedicated entirely to a specific country or region or idea that the students plan with, like performances, plays, guest lecturers, debates, just to kind of give the other students an idea about that culture. Something I find that's quite specific to Japan is that students will start their job hunting process during their 4th year, so while they're still a student. And they do this just because we want to make sure that as soon as a student graduates, they have a job out the door. They don't have to worry about their visa. They don't have to worry about moving out of the country. They'll just move to whichever city the company that hired them is located. Of our job hunting students, at least 96% have at least one job offer before graduation. And this is because it's kind of because of the Japanese system, but also because our students are quite unique in their skill set, with them coming from so many different countries and having that language background, but also being able to problem solve and to adapt to new situations just because of the environment they've been in for the past 4 years. Tuition-wise, for our first year, our tuition is just over $12,000. Second year onwards, it gets more expensive because you'll take more credits, so about a little over 14,000. This is starting tuition. Everyone pays this amount, regardless of nationality, in-state, out-of-state, all of that. And we estimate the cost of living to be just under 10,000 per year. We do offer scholarships on top of that in the form of a tuition reduction. That would be merit-based, but we'll look at your extracurriculars as well as an interview as well. Applications are open. You can find all this information on our website. And yeah, please feel free to contact me or leave a question in the Q&A box and I'll get back to you there or through my email. But thank you very much.
And thank you. And next we'll hear from Temple University's Japan campus. Kelly.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Kelly Nuibe from Temple University, Japan, TUJ for short. So the previous presentation, we were in Kyushu. Now we're gonna hop on the plane and fly over to Tokyo. Beth mentioned that it's about an hour flight. If you're like me, a frequent flyer, you can probably fit in about 3 to 4 episodes of Friends on the plane. So it's very short. All right, for those of you who don't know us, our main campus, Temple University, is on the East Coast in Philadelphia. We have our second campus in Rome, Italy, and then our third campus in Tokyo, Japan. And yes, it is possible to study at all 3 campuses. And yes, it is possible to be in Japan for all 4 years and earn your US bachelor's degree in Tokyo. Because this presentation is only 6 minutes long, I'm going to keep it short, give you the 5 key points on why students choose TUJ. First reason is because of the quality education we provide. We are fully accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education in the US. What does that mean? Well, we are expected to uphold to the standards and quality of education taught in the US. Students are earning a world-recognized US bachelor's degree. And oh my goodness, don't mind me. Number 2 is diversity. So 40% are Japanese by passport, 40% are US by passport, 20 are coming from around the world. Because of the diversity of students we have here, and I think for all universities represented here today, it's a very international experience. You know, that 40% of the US students we have by passport, some of them aren't even in the US, they are growing up in a completely different country. And so that's just great to see that. One of the unique things about TUJ is that we are fully integrated. So you are definitely studying alongside Japanese natives. You will make friends with Japanese peers. Another reason why students choose TUJ is because of the number of study options. These are a list of our majors. It is quite comprehensive. It may look like a short list, but it is quite a comprehensive option for you if you're looking for Japan options. Some of the most popular majors we have are international business studies, international affairs, art, and communication studies, which has a journalism track or a film production track. Because we're liberal arts based, you can apply as undeclared. It is okay for you to change your major. For the art program, we are part of the Tyler School of Art, which is one of the top art schools in the US. However, our Japan campus is liberal arts based, so you do not need a portfolio review to apply. Another reason why students choose us is because we are an American institute in Japan. What does that mean? Well, in terms of affordability, it's quite affordable. Here is our tuition. Our annual tuition is about $15,000 US compared to a public university out of state and a private university on the low end. So in many ways, it is much more affordable to go out of country than it is to go out of state. Because we're an American university, we are the only full 4-year university in Japan to accept financial aid. So if you are thinking of using FAFSA, you definitely can. We have students who use a combination as well of private loans. We have some veterans who use the GI Bill benefits, as well as external scholarships and TUJ provided merit-based scholarships. Because we're an American institute, we are also one of the very few to accept transfer credits. So if you have AP credits or IB credits, we will be able to accept those transfer credits. Or if for whatever reason you want to, you have to go back to the US, that's okay. Those credits that you're earning at TUJ are completely transferable because they are American credits. We also have a few students who start off at community colleges first and then come to us. So that's very much possible. If you are thinking of graduate school, again, this is a world recognized degree. So whether you go on to graduate school in the US, Japan, or somewhere else around the world, it's very possible. Another thing to note is we do have credit exchange programs with 4 Japanese universities. One of our partner universities is right across the street, Showa Joshidai. And so it is possible for you to take lectures in Japanese. Here's a quick overview. If you want to learn how to apply to TUJ, we have our application checklist, eligibility requirements, and our deadlines. To break it down, it's like applying to any American university, okay? You have the online app. We do accept the Common App. Just make sure you select the Japan campus. For test score, native English speakers usually have to submit the SAT or ACT. However, in this year, because of COVID-19, we know students cannot make it to a test center, so you just need to let us know, and we'll make a note that you are applying without a test score. Transcripts we accept digitally, so make sure you check with your counselors. All right, there's My Options, Naviance, Parchment, a number of ways for you to send it digitally. All right, moving on. Another reason why students choose us is because of career prep. We are well known for our internship program, as well as our services in providing students with part-time jobs and full-time employment. A lot of times companies that start internship programs will come to us first because they know of the caliber of students we bring in. Some of the companies that have hired our students include Aflac, US Embassy, IKEA, Amazon, and Square Enix. For those of you who are wondering, our employment rate is 97%. All right, if you want to catch us again, we have monthly webinars. There was one yesterday in Japan time, but you can still register and catch the recording. November will be our tea time with TUJ students. You can also catch us on Instagram, TU Japan. If you haven't been following us, please do so now. It's a great way to see what life is like through students' eyes. That is our email address. Again, my name is Kelly Nuibe from Temple University, Japan campus. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. And our last presenter tonight is from Goldsmiths, the University of London.
Hello, my name is Abraham, officer for the Americas at Goldsmiths, University of London. I am based in Brooklyn, New York. So, Goldsmiths is a top-tier public research institution located in Southeast London. We were founded in 1891 and have been part of the University of London since 1904. We have about 10,000 students on our campus. Nearly 30% are international. More than half are students of color. We have a very large LGBTQ population on campus, and 43% of our students are first generation. Our student faculty ratio is 15:1, and even though we are a school of 10,000 students, most of your classes will have less than 20. We've also committed to a Green New Deal, and we are committing to carbon neutrality by 2025. Be happy to answer any questions about that process. London is an amazing place to go to university. We are consistently ranked the top students city in the world 3 years in a row by QS. There's over 500,000 students in London at any given time, and our campus is located a short 10-minute ride from the city center, which makes it really amazing for internships and work placements, of which we offer a plethora at Goldsmiths. The city itself also has so much culture. It is the economic hub of the UK and wider Europe, and one of the major financial centers in the world, an amazingly diverse economy, and also is the seat of government for the United Kingdom. And our campus has so much to do. There's a movie theater on campus, a public museum, scores of restaurants and cafes nearby, and it's a really fun neighborhood. So our academics focus on the humanities, social sciences, fine and performing arts. Popular programs are communications and media, of which we're number 7 in the world, art and design, which we're number 14 in the world, and 10 of our subjects are among the top 100 in the world, and we're also in the top 1% of universities. We're also number 21 in the UK for the quality and international significance of our research. And we have over 50 research centers on campus. And as a student in the UK, you can undertake research from year one. So here's a overview of all the academic programs that we offer. We have about 75 undergraduate programs of study. And we also have joint honors degrees, which can combine some of these programs together to do a sort of dual degree. So the UK education system is a little bit different from the United States, and we have 3-year bachelor degrees in England. So there is a potential to earn a bachelor and a master's in 4 years. So since it's a shorter and more focused degree, we have no core curriculum and no general education requirements. So if you choose to study psychology, you're only studying psychology, as an example. In the UK, we also have a post-study work visa, which will allow you to remain in the country for up to 2 years after you graduate, and you can do any work in any field at any salary level. Our entry requirements are pretty straightforward. We require an unweighted GPA of 3.0 to apply, and the UK is very transparent requirement. In normal years, we require an ACT of 26 or SAT of 1240 or 2 APs at a 4 or higher, but we have actually gone test optional this year. So seniors who might be applying can elect to not submit test scores and not be disadvantaged at all. We'll see how the rest of this year goes regarding how juniors and sophomores might apply. So we are on UCAS, which is the affectionate name for the University and College Application Service, and this is the essential common app for the United Kingdom. So the application closes for the majority of programs on the 15th of January up to 5 universities. The application is fairly straightforward and very similar to the common app. And if you have any questions about the UCAS, I'm happy to answer them. Some of our programs will also require a portfolio or audition, and many require an interview of international students as well. When thinking about studying in the UK, people often believe that it's really expensive. You know, the pound is worth more than the dollar. It's very confusing. But our tuition is actually much cheaper than most out-of-state public or private universities in the United States. And when you can use federal loans and Parent Plus loans and Veterans Affairs benefits and any external scholarships that you might have, it actually makes studying in the UK a really affordable option. So the total cost of attendance is around $36,000 to $39,000 US per year, depending on your tuition, and saving an entire year off your total cost. So you can really get in and out with spending less than $100,000 a year. So compared to private schools or BU, which are about $80,000 a year now, it's quite affordable. Accommodation in the UK is also a little bit different than in the United States. We have halls that are sort of suite style, and you have your own bedroom with your own bathroom. I know it's really unheard of for Americans to think about. But you'll typically be living with other students in a suite, and the halls are mixed gender, and we do guarantee accommodation for international students in the first year. So as I said before, you'll share a kitchen and living space with other students, but you will have your own room with your own bathroom. And at Goldsmiths, we put a really large emphasis on our career services. So over 90% of our students will have work or enter postgraduate study within 6 months of graduation in their field. And we also provide many internships and work placements that are built into our programs at Goldsmiths. You can also do an international internship if you wish, and we are opening an enterprise hub on campus next spring, and about 14% of our students will start their own business within 1 year of graduation. If you have any questions about all of our programs, I'm happy to connect with you and also answer some of your questions. My email address is on the screen, and thank you so much, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Will. And thanks to all of our presenters tonight for their information and certainly for being here and sharing this information with our students. There is one question in the Q&A, and it's kind of a round robin, so I'm going to ask it to everyone. Does everyone accept AP credits? So let's just go in the same order that you presented. So Tori, do you take AP credits?
We can use them for entry decisions, but we don't award credit for AP courses.
Emily?
It would be the same. So we can take 2 AP exams. You can use any 2 AP exams for entry, but we don't give credit because you don't have any general classes in the first year.
Todd.
Yeah, we require at least 2 AP exams, no credit, but again, 3-year degrees are in Australia, so it gives you advanced standing.
Beth?
Same answer. We don't require any kind of testing, AP included, but if you want to submit them in terms of looking at it for our enrollment, we will consider it, but we can't accept the credit, unfortunately.
Kelly.
Yes, AP scores are not required for admissions, but it's definitely welcomed. We do accept transfer credit. We also have an equivalency table online if you're curious to know.
And Will.
As the Australian universities, we are a 3-year program, so you're already accelerated, but we do accept AP credit as entrance requirements. You can submit 2 out of 4.
Excellent. Well, while our participants maybe think of some additional questions, I have a question for everybody. We'll go round robin again. As these students start their college searches and are considering a school outside of the US, do you have any particular advice that you would give students in this process? And Tori, we'll start with you.
Thanks. I would say access as many resources as you can in terms of getting in touch with the reps who are out there and in your country, on your time zones. Connect with them because we can connect you in with the students who are currently living the life that you're considering and can be a really valuable resource. So keep connected. That's my biggest bit of advice, and do your research. Get to know the people you interact with across the university.
Emily?
Yeah, my piece of advice, I guess, is to really research what the entry requirements are of any university you're interested in, because I always hear from students that, they haven't completed a certain exam or certain extracurricular activities, but every university has really different entry requirements. So for us, for example, we don't consider extracurriculars. So if you did a lot and you want to get credit for that, or if you didn't do any, we could not be right for you. So just do your research into the entry requirements, because there most likely is a university that you would meet the entry for.
Todd?
Yeah, in terms of finding the right fit, it's always great if you can connect with current students. So again, we're having a panel discussion on Wednesday night. If you'd like to hear the University of Melbourne student perspective, but otherwise seek out what other the universities that we have. We all have many ways so that you can hear from current students.
Bethany?
My thing would just be to pay attention to deadlines. I think a lot of US universities follow a quite similar deadline pattern. International schools may not be the same. A lot of us do rolling admissions, and we give results earlier or later. Aware when you're applying to US schools as well as international schools, when you'll be getting results, when they ask you to make decisions, when they ask for deposits, just because it may differ from what you've been told about.
Kelly?
Yes, my advice kind of echoes what everyone's saying. Start your research early. Keep a journal to organize everything, because again, every university is different. There are different deadlines. Another thing is, when you make your personal statement, please proofread it. Make sure you put in the right school's name.
And Will?
Yeah, so I guess I'll make my advice kind of UK specific, because all my colleagues have said really great advice. But I suppose for the UCAS application, I think a lot of US students get really tripped up on the personal statement, which is a little bit different from the Common App or any other essays you have. So make sure when you're applying to the UK, you focus really on your academics and your program of study as you apply directly to a program. So it really should be tailored to the program of study instead of kind of a personal narrative.
Well, thank you, everyone. Great advice. As we wrap up tonight, I just want to remind all of our participants that when they click out of tonight's session, there will be a quick survey of about 4 questions. So please take a moment, answer those questions for us so that we can continue to improve these sessions for future students. Certainly sign up for some more sessions. We've got a whole slate tomorrow, so there may be other schools that interest you. And again, if you missed anything tonight, or if there were other schools you wanted to see, there are recordings of all of our sessions available. So on behalf of Collegewise and StriveScan and all the panelists tonight, we thank you again for joining us. Be well.